welcome back to our channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Maya. I'm usually here with my partner Ethan as well, but he is currently preoccupied in our bedroom. I will go into a bit more detail as to what he's doing in a minute, but I just thought I'd come on today and try and get a little video really just explaining why it's been so long since we have put a video on the YouTube, do a little life update, talk about what's been going on, and tell you a little bit about the trip that we've got planned for October this year. I did post a story over on our Instagram the other day. For those of you that are not following us on the Instagram, why the hell not? Only joking. I will pop our username down below and in the comment section if you do want to give us a follow, because we do tend to post a lot more over on the Instagram than we do over on the YouTube channel. But thank you to everyone who responded to my story. It's nice to see that you are still interested in what we get up to. And thank you to everyone that posted a question. I will try to answer as many of them as possible throughout the video, because there were some questions about like trip updates and how I'm finding life at the minute. So I will hopefully answer them throughout the video, but any that I feel like I haven't answered, I will do a little Q&A at the end so you get your answers. There has been a lot that's been going on since our trip in June last year to Florida. We went for 2 weeks, end of June, got home beginning of July. We do have a series on that trip, so if you are interested in giving it a watch, it's over on our channel. If you have already seen it, thank you for watching, and if you want to watch it again, feel free. But yeah, we got home early July last year and found out that we were expecting a little baby. At the time, we didn't know what we were having, so through the whole 9 months of the pregnancy, we didn't know that she was going to be a little girl. And then, yeah, she was born in March. She's actually 2 months old today, and she's a little dream. We weren't actually trying for a baby at the time. We weren't being careful. It was always something that we were talking about was going to be happening soon. So it wasn't like a complete shock to us. But we always said that we wanted to go to Florida before we had a baby. So last year we went to Florida in January as well. We don't have a series for that one because we did attempt to vlog it, but it was our first attempt, so the videos weren't great, so we didn't ever put them up. But we basically fell in love with Florida that much that we decided to change our trip in June. We were originally going to Rhodes for 10 nights, but like I said, we fell in love with Florida that much that we decided to change it from Rhodes to go back to Florida. Me and Ethan have both been to Florida a few times when we were younger, so it was always something that we wanted to do and that we spoke about doing. So like I said, we did that in the January, changed the trip from Rhodes in June to Florida. It actually worked out cheaper to go back to Florida for 14 nights than it did to go to Rhodes for 10 nights, which made that make sense. But yeah, it wasn't something that we were planning for. But like I said, we weren't being careful, so it wasn't a big shock to the system. But while we were over in Florida, obviously I didn't know I was pregnant, so I was going on all the rides and things like that, but I was only a couple of weeks pregnant, because when I got back and I did the test, I was the digital test, I was like 2 to 3 weeks pregnant. So it either happened just before or while we were over there. Bit of Disney magic for us. But yeah, it was super exciting. There is an announcement video over on my TikTok, which I'll put the username for there if any of you want to go and have a look at the announcement video for that. It's quite emotional. This makes me cry every time I watch it back because it was just so amazing. But yeah, she's now here. She's 2 months old today, and she is a little darling. I'm finding it not as hard as I thought, to be honest. She's such an easy baby. She's really, really good. We are formula feeding, so we know like we've got quite a good feeding schedule, which helps with the sleeping at night as well. The last 3 nights she has also slept all night, which has been a dream. And that's not me being like, oh my God, she's the best baby ever, because I know there are some babies that, don't sleep, and I wouldn't want mums or dads or aunties, uncles, whoever, parents, guardians to be watching this and think, all right, she's rubbing it in, her baby sleeps, because that's not what I'm doing. A couple of the questions that we're asked were just like sort of how I'm finding postpartum, how I'm finding being a new mum. So I just thought I'd try and answer that now. But yeah, she's a little darling. She's really good with her eating. We have like quite a good schedule with her. She's sleeping really well. She was only sort of waking up for maybe two bottles a night, which then dropped down to 1. And now she's sleeping through. She wakes up about 6:30 in the morning, which is a bit of a shock to the system for me, to be honest, because I'm used to 10 hours sleep and I don't usually get up till like 8 o'clock. But no, I'm finding it really good, and it does help that I've got such a supportive network around me. My family, my friends, and Ethan is just the best dad ever. He's so amazing with Darcy, that's our little girl's name. But not only that, he's so supportive of me as well. It's just been such a great 2 months. I can't believe it's been 2 months already. It's absolutely flying by. But yeah, that's the biggest life update for us, is that obviously we found out we were pregnant when we got back from the trip. Pregnant for 9 months, which my pregnancy was really nice. It was quite a textbook pregnancy. And then, yeah, obviously another 2 months on top of that of her being here. So actually mad's how it still doesn't feel real now. Like, I've been pregnant, I've got a baby, and I'm still like, is this real? Is this really happening? But it's just been magical. It's been amazing. I'm loving being a mum. I'm loving having her with us. I feel like she's just slotted into our lives. There's not really been that much of a shock to the system. I was expecting it to be worse, as in, like, obviously a lot of change and a lot going on, but it hasn't really been that much different, to be honest. She's just come and slotted in really well. So here she is, the little cherub. Say hi. Say hi, everybody. I don't know if you can hear Mickey Mouse Clubhouse in the background, but that is what our day consists of now, is feeding, changing, sleeping, and Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
And pooping.
And crying.
Oh, I'm definitely crying.
But yeah, that's our little Darcy, and she's 2 months old today.
Say bye-bye.
Oh, she's yawning. But yeah, having a baby, becoming a mum, becoming parents has definitely been the biggest life update for you all. I'm sure most of you that do follow us on Instagram will have already seen that, because we have put bits and bobs on there about the baby and the announcement and that, so you will have already seen it. But for those who are new here and are interested in what's been going on, that is the biggest update that we've got for you. And obviously that explains why it's been quite a while since we've done any sort of videos on the YouTube, because I've been pregnant, so I haven't really been able to go on many trips. We did have a trip to South Africa planned for Christmas, just gone. So we were supposed to be going to South Africa for 3 weeks. Just a bit of a backstory to that. Ethan's dad is originally from South Africa. He moved over here when he was like early 20s, but 18, 20, I'm not sure exactly when. But he moved from South Africa here to play rugby. And obviously that's when he met Ethan's mum. Yada, yada, yada. Don't really need to go into a lot of detail about that. But Ethan's dad had an issue with his heart. So he had 2 heart attacks and was waiting for a heart transplant. Now, he was on the list for, he was basically waiting for the heart transplant for 12 years over in the UK. So we made the decision the September before, to go back to South Africa and have his heart transplant there. So obviously he was on the waiting list. So we were planning obviously to go over there for Christmas, spend Christmas with them. We were supposed to be going on a 3-week trip. So we were originally going to be going to Johannesburg, spending some time there with Ethan's family, who obviously live over there as well. We were supposed to be going on a safari to Kruger, but then I found out I was pregnant. So me and Ethan decided that we weren't going to go to Kruger because it's a malaria zone, and obviously malaria is not something you want anyway, but even more so being pregnant, it's quite high risk with you being pregnant. So me and Ethan were just going to do a safari in Pilanesberg. And then we were going to be flying to Cape Town to go and spend Christmas with Ethan's dad then. So Ethan's dad's actually in Cape Town, not Johannesburg. His family are in Johannesburg. So like Ethan's nan, granddad, aunties, uncles, cousins, all are in Johannesburg. Ethan's dad's in Cape Town. So it's a little bit confusing. But yeah, so that was the original plan. Obviously then I found out I was pregnant. And up until probably the month before, I was still planning on going. But I needed to get a fit to fly letter from the doctor, just because I was going to be I think I was going to be 28 weeks pregnant when we would go in, but I was going to be 31 weeks pregnant when we were flying home. So I needed to get a fit to fly, just because of obviously the length of the flight and things like that. But honestly, it was an absolute mission trying to get a fit to fly. The doctors would not give me one. The GP said they don't do it anymore. I tried calling lots of different privates, like healthcare things, they just wouldn't, I couldn't get one basically. I looked online, I could have paid to get one online, but I'd been looking for so long that I think in the end me and Ethan just sat down and said, look, there's obviously a reason that it's so difficult to get a fit to fly. It's probably more risk than what it's worth going over there, because it wouldn't have just been the flight there and back. There were obviously internal flights as well for us going from Johannesburg to Cape Town. So it would have been 4 flights in the space of 3 weeks, which when we actually looked, when we thought about it a bit more, we decided it probably wasn't the best idea. So I made the decision to not go on that holiday. Ethan still went and obviously did everything that was planned originally, except he did go to the Kruger instead of Pilansberg. And it was amazing. He had a lovely 3 weeks that he spent with his dad and family. And I spent Christmas with my family at home. I was obviously gutted when I couldn't go. Emotions were high anyway because I was pregnant, so my hormones were all over the shop. But yeah, it is what it is. It was for the best, and to be honest, I'm quite glad that I didn't go in the end. But yeah, that was supposed to be our next vlog for the channel, but it didn't end up happening. And to be honest, it wouldn't have been like a Disney vlog where it's sort of day 1, day 2, because it's a totally different trip for us when we go over there because we stay with family. So to be honest, it probably wouldn't have been that interesting for you guys anyway, because it would have just been a lot of spending time in the house, spending time with the family, spending time in the pool. It would have just been obviously nice to show you the safari and things like that, but hey ho, it is what it is. But obviously our next trip now is in September. We're actually going to Turkey. Probably not going to vlog back because we're just going for a family wedding. And then it'll be Florida in October, which we are going to vlog. So make sure you subscribe to our channel and follow us on the Instagram so you can see any updates on that and see when the vlogs for that come out. Now, I know I've covered a little bit about Ethan's dad previously, just talking about the trip that obviously we were going over to Cape Town in December for. And the reason why Ethan's dad is over in Cape Town is because he was awaiting a heart transplant. So on the morning of the 23rd of April, we got a call at 6:30 to say that they'd found a match for him and he was going to be having the transplant that day. So as you can imagine, emotions were very high. It was a very stressful time, but it was also exciting because it was, what he's been waiting for 12 years. And it's what he went over to Cape Town for, essentially. But Darcy was only 5 weeks old then, so she didn't even have a passport. And obviously I didn't want to leave Darcy at 5 weeks old to go over to Cape Town. So Ethan flew over then the following day. He flew over on the 24th with his older sister. I think it's been, 23rd of April, it's now mid-May, so it's probably been about 3-4 weeks since he's had the transplant. He's been discharged from hospital. He's now recovering in his home in Cape Town, and he's doing really, really well. So that's obviously the other major thing that's sort of gone on in our lives at the minute. As you can tell, I feel like I've waffled on for God knows how long, so I'm sorry if I am boring you. And if you're not interested in anything that I've just said, then I do apologise. But that is basically everything that's been going on in our lives the last year. So I have got my iPad if you see me looking down, just because I want to make sure that I've got all, dates, times, prices, etc. right for you. So we are going in October, the 8th till the 22nd for 14 nights. We're going with my family, so my mum and dad, my grandma and granddad and sister are coming along with us. It's going to be our first big holiday with Darcy, so we want to make sure that we've got help with us, because I'm not going to sit here and say I know exactly what I'm doing, I'm the best mom ever, because I don't. It's a learning curve and I'm taking it day by day, but obviously the more help we can get, the better. But it'll be the first time us going to Florida with family, so I'm very excited for that. We are going 14 nights, like I've said. Our plan is to do Disney Universal. We're just going to keep it very basic. Obviously, it's going to be our first trip with a baby, so it's going to be a very different trip for us. We're used to just going, the two of us, having the freedom to do what we want, stay up as late as we want, get up as early as we want, no sort of schedules. Obviously, with a baby, she's going to be 7 months old when we go, so she's not going to be baby, but she's still very young. So it is going to be a very different trip for us this time, but equally as exciting. But yeah, so we're doing Disney Universal, just keeping it very simple. We booked directly with British Airways. We booked a package holiday for 6 people. It cost us £6,758.68. That is for 2 weeks with flights from Gatwick to MCO. It's a 2:30 p.m. flight out and then 5:25 p.m. flight back. And that broke down to £1,126.45 per person for 6 people. We're staying at the Windsor Hills and we're staying in a 3-bedroom townhouse. So again, this is something completely new and completely different for us. We've never done villa before. We've never done anything other than hotels. So the last 2 trips we've stayed in hotels. We have also hired a car. We do this every trip and we always go direct with Alamo. The car hire come to a total of £625.55. That does include a car seat because obviously we're going to have Darcy with us. You can take your own car seats, but we just thought for ease, it'd be easier to just pay for them to fit one for us. We haven't got to worry then about taking a pram, taking the cases, taking a car seat. You know, it's just one less thing for us to worry about. I believe the car seat add-on was £65 or here or there, around between £60 to £70. And that total price does include that car seat. So take out the £65, it was probably about £550 for the car. My parents and grandparents have also got their own car, so we've got one and they've got one. Obviously they didn't pay as much as us because they haven't got the car seat included, I think they went for an intermediate SUV or whatever. They went for like a slightly cheaper one. So plans for while we're there, like I said, we're keeping it simple. Disney, Universal. We have booked Halloween Horror Nights, which is going to be a first for us, which we're super excited for. That is just going to be me and Ethan because my family have just booked Disney tickets. They're not too, like I said earlier, they're not too fussed about the parks. So I said it would probably be best for them to just do Disney because, I mean, my grandparents are not going to be going on Velocicoaster, that's for sure. So they're not too fussed about Universal and going there. So I just said, look, book Disney tickets. You've got the option then. It works out cheaper for you to buy the 14-day pass and have the option of going whenever you want than paying on the day as and when. But yeah, so park tickets wise, I'll go into that. Me and Ethan have bought a 14-day combo ticket, which includes Epic Universe. And that is now, you can go to Epic Universe the same as you can do Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios. You can just go any day as and when you want in the 14 days. We booked that through attraction tickets and we booked it when there was a Black Friday discount. So the original price was £2,530 for 2 people. With the discount, that took off £531.30. So the total we paid was £1,998.70, which worked out £999.35 each. My family have booked 14-day Disney tickets. They booked through Florida Tix just because it was slightly cheaper than attraction tickets. They booked theirs. It worked out at £579 per person for the 14-day Disney ticket. Obviously, I've mentioned that we're doing Halloween Horror Nights as well. So that worked out total direct through Universal of £151.51, which was £75.75 per person. So that's just me and Ethan doing that. But yeah, that's our park tickets. We always shop around for the park tickets. We don't always go direct with attraction tickets or Florida Tix. We always look around, see if there's any discount codes, which one works out cheaper, and we always just go for the cheapest option. Obviously, we've used 3 different websites there. We've used attraction tickets, we've used Florida Tix, and we've used Universal Direct. So we don't always use the same websites. I know there was one question. Someone asked if sort of the best way and place to book trips. We use whatever works out cheapest for us, to be honest. So we usually do go direct with an airline, and we do a package holiday because we just find that works best for us. We haven't got to worry about, booking a hotel, separate to booking flights. And also if you book flights, you usually have to pay up front for those. So with the package holidays, you do have the option of sort of spreading the costs across the time before you're due to pay. But yeah, that is our plan for the trip. We're keeping it simple. We're staying in a villa. We're doing Disney, Universal. Usually me and Ethan go quite hard on parks. We do tend to spend a lot of the time in the parks just because, you know, we're there for 2 weeks. We want to make the most of it. We do go back. Obviously, this will be our 3rd time going. But we do just think while we're there, you know, we want to make the most of it. However, I feel like this trip is going to be a bit different in terms of we're going to probably not be doing sort of full days in the park every day, because we're going to have Darcy. She's going to be 7 months old. It's going to be hot. We're not going to be dragging around all day and night, you know. Obviously, we've got the option if we want to, we can, because we've got my parents and grandparents that will happily sort of take her home midday if they want to, or they might keep her home one day and we'll go to the park. So we've got a lot of options there. But I think this trip is just going to be a lot more relaxed for us. So yeah, I hope I've answered most of your questions throughout the video. I know there was a few questions on trip plan, like what we're doing, who we booked with, prices, etc. But I'm still using the iPad, by the way, if I'm like looking a different direction. I've got a couple of questions here now that I'm just going to sort of run through quickly that we're on the Instagram as well that I feel like I haven't answered. So what are we most looking forward to going to obviously introduce baby to Disney? I think it's just seeing what she's going to be like. Obviously, at 7 months old, I don't even know what she's going to be like at that point anyway. But I think just taking her to Disney and seeing it through her eyes is just going to be amazing. I hope she likes it. I hope she's not scared of any of the characters or anything like that. I'm sure she probably will love it because, like I said, she watches Mickey Mouse Clubhouse every day and she's got a little Mickey and Minnie Teddy in her room. So she should be pretty familiar with them by the time she goes. But I think we're most looking forward to just taking her on holiday, introducing her to Disney and just seeing it through her eyes basically and living through her. The thing we're most looking forward to about going back to Orlando in general, obviously the food. Me and Ethan are proper foodies, so we just love Florida food. We spend every single day talking about how much we want a Blaze pizza or how much we're craving a Chili's or we can't wait for a Dole Whip or a Big Gulp. So we just literally are big foodies. So I think that is probably one of the things I'm looking forward to the most is just going there and pigging out for 14 days. But obviously the thing I'm most looking forward to is taking Darcy to Florida and being there with family. I think that's going to be super exciting. And also Halloween Horror Nights. So there's 3 there. Someone has asked, what will be new/different with taking Darcy this time? I've kind of already covered it. I think it's going to be a totally new and different trip for us in general, just because we're going to have to take it a lot slower than we usually would and not put as much pressure on trying to do all the parks and cram as much in as we can. Not that that's going to be a bad thing. I think that probably will be quite nice for us because we are usually very full on. So I think it'll be very nice for us to just go and have quite a relaxing trip. But that is basically it. I've covered everything about what's going on in our lives. I feel like I've probably waffled on for God knows how long and you're all probably bored of hearing my voice. But thank you so much for getting to the end of this video if you have. Please give us a like and a little comment and subscribe. If you've got any further questions or if I've missed anything, please pop a comment and we'll do our best to answer them for you. But yeah, thank you guys for staying to the end and listening to me waffle on. We're super, super excited about our trip in October, so make sure you subscribe so that you're up to date and can see when the vlogs come out for that. And also give us a little follow on the Instagram as well so you can keep up to date on basically our trip and any other trips or updates that we've got. But thank you so much.